So let me read out the title one last time. The closest a gacha game has ever been to perfection, an Arknights 1.0 review from Moose on Coffee.
Hi,
Let's take a
welcome
look
back.
at this.
Around a month before the release of Arknights Endfield, I made a video titled Arknights Endfield is the most divisive gacha game so far. And not to toot my own horn, but I was right for many reasons that I expected and many others that I didn't. Endfield did turn out to be a gigantic game with the potential to completely change the market, with the second largest gacha release so far, gaining over 172 million USD.
Wait, so that number was actually accurate? That they made over 172 million in like the first 2 weeks or first month? Yeah, wow, they did really well. But then again, Enfield has that brand, that name that people know of in other non-Western stuff. Like Arknights is huge. I wonder why. Brand new gacha game coming out, yeah, but like, here's the thing, like, just being a new gacha game is not big enough or not enough to make that much money. There has to be enough or a not good enough reason for people to spend. And I think Surtur is so goddamn hot that alone is the reason why they made 172 million, and I will not take any other answers on that. It's purely because of Surtur and how hot she is. So yeah, that's why they made that much money.
in revenue in 2
If they want to make another 150 million, just make Surtur 2, and I think they'll make it a lot more money.
weeks, only topped by Genshin that reached 250 million on the mobile market only in 1 month. Despite how huge this game is, it's also the most hated and doom-posted gacha game so far, again, as I predicted, but either way, I believe that
what was that? Was that Yvonne's ass?
gacha game so far, again, as I predicted, but either way,
that was Yvonne's ass.
I believe that Arknights Endfield might genuinely be the closest a gacha game has ever been to being truly perfect, but it is also incredibly far away. It brings AAA quality, AAA visuals, insane optimization to allow it to be played on a wide variety of devices, but there's a huge list of proper, non-Doom posted issues that need to be fixed for Arknights Endfield to truly realize its potential. So here's a comprehensive review after more than 100 hours on Arknights Endfield. Before we get started, you'll probably notice I'm going to compare many gacha games to Arknights Endfield, and let me tell you, this is not done in bad faith. The only reason I will compare
truly hate Arknights, I can tell.
To give my opinion as to how any of these games could be
You must
better.
hate it when I stream
your
it.
opinion in the comments, but let's just not right? We'll begin the review with the quality and polish, then the story, then the gameplay, including all of the factory and exploration, the combat, and the endgame content. And we'll end it with the most hotly debated.
We gotta go back. Surtur's face. Surtur's face is perfect.
Story, then the gameplay, including all of the factory and exploration, the combat,
I'm not even paying attention to the video. I'm just staring at Surtur.
And we'll end it with the most hotly debated topic, the gacha system and F2P accessibility. So, as I said, Arknights Endfield is most definitely the best looking gacha game currently on the market.
Yes.
Everything from character models to...
You know, I will say that. Like, yes, it has like some of the best graphics for gacha, but that's only until Silver Palace comes out. That's the thing. That's until Silver Palace comes out. Silver Palace is just gonna nuke it.
Lighting that does not include ray tracing to map and environmental details is absolutely perfect, and it's all super optimized. There are a couple issues some users are experiencing, like exceedingly high CPU usage and memory leaks, which the devs should be fixing soon. Voice acting in Arknights Endfield is also one of its strongest points, not only giving most, if not all, the voice actors incredible directions and utilizing their full talent, but also
have a good
increasing immersion by
time.
hiring ethnic voice actors to voice ethnic characters like Rosie, Wolfguard, Tung, and even keeping the security robot Chinese in the English dub. But they also hired the best voice actor of all time to voice Yvonne, which just makes it all so much better.
I have no idea who that is.
I don't think calling...
Who is that? Let me... Does it show the credits? Enfield? No, that's just it. Who is that?
Voice actor of all time to voice Yvonne, which just makes it all so much better. Again, I don't think calling Endfield the most beautiful and highest quality gacha game on the market right now is a bad take, and if Genshin, HSR, and Wuthering Waves could pull in players with their high quality, Endfield definitely can too, and it already proved it by making over $172 million in 2 weeks. If there is one thing they need to add, it's real ray tracing, which would be really fun for those with the high-end graphics cards.
No, please,
so
no,
now,
I hate ray tracing so much.
The biggest hyperglazer for both Arknights games, it is time to stop slobbering the game and actually do some proper criticism. The story in Endfield so far is simultaneously the most disappointing 1.0 experience, yet also the best 1.0 experience, yet also the story that I couldn't be more hyped for the future.
Yeah, like
of.
here's the thing: how can Tong Tong's like scenes in Wu Ling be so good, along with Mi Fu, but then the rest of the story just sucks straight butt? Like, how is that possible? You write an amazing character with an amazing relationship with an adversary, Mi Fu, but then the rest of it just sucks. What's going on
The thing
over
about
there?
Enfield's
Are these guys just smoking crack or something?
current lineup of story missions and quests is that they're insanely fun to do, but the story that they provide is pretty subpar, not only to Arknights standards, but also to what's been written before in Enfield itself. The presentation is currently incredible, with super expressive characters and a very animated and interactive world. Character interactions are also very
Enfield
well done,
does have some of
specifically
the
with
best
characters like Yvonne
faces.
and Tong Tong, who bring a lot of life to the world around them. Even
They
with
really
this
do.
subpar story quality that we have right now, actually playing the quests for Arknights Endfield is by far my favorite experience.
Visual novel visual novel writers to an open world game is a recipe for disaster. Tong Tong and the one Rosie cutscene are like the only highlights of the story. Yeah, like this whole little scene with Tong Tong and Mifu, or whatever her name is, Mimi, it's like top tier. It's like 10 out of 10. Tong Tong's introduction is like 10 out of 10. Anything involving the most of the stuff involving Tong Tong and Mifu is just top tier. How can it be so good, but the rest of the story is
Out
just
of all Gacha
boring.
Game 1.0s, and here's a worst to best list for those who are curious. The real issue that I
Hold
have
up,
with the
wait,
story
no, this was wrong. Wait, what?
and here's a worst to best list.
Okay, no, it's not wrong at all. This is actually like how I would rate it myself. Like, yeah. No, actually, no. No, 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 no. No. HSR needs to be up more. HSR needs to be up more. HSR had one of the best 1.0 stories. That's wrong. Like, I would do fucking HSR, Genshin, Wuwa. No, actually, it would be HSR, CZZ, Genshin, Wuwa, Enfield.
Curious. The real issue that I have
That's
with
how
the
I would
story
do
is
it.
how un-Arknightsy it is, and while I don't want to sound like a certain elitist, it's definitely not what Arknights
What was that?
it is, and while I don't want to sound like a certain elitist,
Koroboro, a generational mistake, 227,000 views. A game for no one is not about gacha. Someone got filtered. What? Who watched this video? I did not. How, like, is that video that bad? Yeah, no, Ribbon. Kakolia's boss fight in HSR is a once in a lifetime experience for a gacha game story. Like, it's what gacha game stories should be because it was so good. But like, I did not watch this video. How bad was it? Hello, Warpy.
it's definitely not what Arknights players are used to, definitely not up to
He
the
fell
same
off.
quality, and it seems very intentional rather than a mistake. The current main quests of Valley 4 and Wu Ling are very shallow and very black and white. We are Endfield Industries trying to build
Wait, what did that say? Did that say dead guy?
Wu Ling are very shallow and very black and white.
The good guy.
We are Endfield Industries trying to build civilization on a very hostile planet, and our means of survival and thrival should not be so simple as don't ask questions and let's just keep going, right? Now, Arknights itself already tackles a lot of the morals of Originium, and I don't want Enfield to just be Arknights 2. Now, that doesn't sound so bad, actually, it kind of sounds amazing, but my point is that what I'm looking for from Enfield is not the same as what I want from Arknights. The story shouldn't tackle the same thing, yet it also shouldn't
want Enfield
completely ignore the
Industries
story
to be
and
the bad
lore of
guy.
its predecessor. It definitely currently hasn't been doing that for 99% of subjects, as it definitely dives into a lot of what makes Arknights Arknights, and thus does make Enfield an Arknights game, but it's definitely missing a crucial factor to the point where a lot of players are calling Enfield inauthentic to Arknights. And while, again, I don't want to sound like a certain elitist, it certainly is something to think about. Speaking of the Endmen, I hate the fact that they are another amnesia trope silent protagonist. It's by far the worst thing about Enfield's current
I'm tired of protagonists just being amnesiac old man, just not knowing what the fuck's going on. Like, that's the thing that I liked about Silver Palace so much. The main character had their memories. The main character's an established person that everybody knows. That's it. Like I want an MC that's like that again.
Story product. So how do you make Enfield's main story quests better? Number 1, make the admin a proper character with their own personality, rather than a vessel for the player, because everyone's genuinely fed way the fuck up with amnesia tropes. And 2,
Kinda like how Wua's doing Rover. Rover is slowly becoming their own character. That's what's awesome about Wua. Rover is his own person. He's slowly becoming that.
well, have better writing, because the current writing is just kinda mid. Now, Enfield's character stories are definitely a much better experience.
The current writing for Enfield quite literally is just playing it safe, not trying anything. Instead of us, I don't know. That's
than the
it depends on who you ask.
But I only really like 2 out of the 4 current ones we have, Yvonne's and Lavatane's, and coincidentally, both Gilberta's and Wolfguard's are worse because of the same exact reason. They were both rewritten and the best parts of them were completely removed. I don't want to go too in depth, but many voiced endmin lines were removed from Wolfguard's, as well as a lot of nuance and depth, and Gilberta's was rewritten to have much lower stakes. There was also only like 3 voiced endmin lines in it, which kinda sucked. Now, Yvonne's didn't have many endmin lines either, but it was a much better experience, not only because Yvonne is my goat and voiced by my goat, but also because it told us about Yvonne herself in a much better way than Gilberta and Wolfguard. It tied up many loose ends from the Valley 4 story, gave Yvonne closure and a goal, and also taught us about her past, her present, and her personality.
It looks like I might actually have to do this quest then. I need to stop being lazy, actually do them.
But many players still had many
The funny thing about Yvonne's outfit is, like, why does she, it looks like she has underwear outside of her leggings. I think it's funny looking.
Which I kinda don't care for relaying right now. Lavatane's, however, is
Perlica the MC.
loved by the community, and coincidentally, it's also the story they've made the most recently, which gives me a lot of hope for Enfield's future story quests. For one, the administrator has many properly voiced lines rather than just choices, and while it kept switching between voiced lines and dialogue options, which really pissed me off, the fact that the admin properly spoke is great. It also told us about Surtur's reconvener incredibly.
Yes, they need to stop doing that. Just make the admin voiced in the voiced dialogue when the other characters are voiced. What is going on? You're already paying the characters to be voiced in their entire dialogue scenes, but you have the admin not talking. You don't have the admin voiced. Why? Why?
Efficiently, connecting with Arknights properly without demanding the player have any Arknights knowledge. Someone with 0 Arknights knowledge will probably have some questions, but Lavatane's quest definitely answers enough of them. I've also seen a lot of players complain about Yvonne's, Gilberta's, and Lavatane's quests feeling like dates, but I don't get that vibe whatsoever. It's a character quest, you're gonna hang out with the character for most of the quest. Even Gilberta's quest final scene definitely didn't feel like a date at all. What did feel like a date is the whole ordeal with Drunk Fan Yi, which really kinda just sucked. So, how do you make better character quests?
Dude, I don't know about you, but I liked going on a date with the Drunk Dragon MILF. That was great. I want more of her. She's the character I'm currently saving all of my polls for. Drunk Dragon MILF. I need her.
Connect the reconveners to their original characters properly, like how Lavatane's quest did, rather than the few lines brought by an NPC story that Gilberta's quest gave us, and treat non-reconvener character quests like how Yvonne's was treated, and again, just better, deeper, and more thoughtful writing, and make the admin their own character. Really, you have people everywhere telling you they're fed up with silent amnesia to a protagonist, so just give us a proper main character.
Oh,
now,
Lord,
the game
yes,
is just coming out,
make
which
him
definitely
voice,
means it's not going to have a fully fleshed out story, but that doesn't mean I can't criticize when I don't think a product is up to par. When you stay silent and don't criticize, you end up with a game like Honkai Star Rail. Now let's continue.
Pretty much.
So to start off with the gameplay, let's talk about the factory first. To say I absolutely love it is a complete understatement, but as the theme of this video suggests, it's not perfect. You can absolutely sink hours upon hours into it, and it's all super fun.
Here, you want a list of what's wrong with the fucking factory? The placing stuff sucks ass most of the time. The conveyor belts are fucking slow. Trying to place the water pipes suck dick. Trying to connect them suck dick. On PC, you are so zoomed in the blueprint mode, that fucking sucks. While trying to place stuff with caps lock, the caps lock view, that fucking sucks. Like, come on, dude.
into the exploration perfectly, and for once in an open world or semi-open world gacha game, exploring isn't just for early game stamina and gacha currency, because half of the AIC gameplay is the exploration. Setting up relay towers, finding mining rigs, setting up zip lines, depot nodes, unlocking stock redistribution terminals,
Pain in the ass on
finding
controller
the wacky
too, I
waving
bet.
inflatable arms flailing tubemen, unlocking gear sets, and so much more. It is incredible how fleshed out the factory system and exploration are, and yet I have just one suggestion to make it much more fun. First things first, it needs a lot of quality of life, which they already addressed, and that quality of life seems to be coming quite soon. But my biggest concern with the factory is how it sometimes feels like the game is actively playing against you by giving you so many bottlenecks, specifically with the ores of course. There's not enough ores on the map to truly and fully max out your factory, and even though amethyst is only an early game mineral, I want more of it so we can build more stuff. If this is a factory game, let it feel like a factory game.
That literally
where it
looks
has no
exactly
bottlenecks
like
on
my
creativity.
factory.
We need more Originium and Amethyst ores in Valley 4, and in
Yes.
Ruling, I just hope they give us much more than what they probably already will give us when the map is fully released. Now, I do obviously think we need to do
More
a lot
minerals.
of resource management because this is a factory game, but giving us a couple hundred more ores wouldn't give anybody an unfair advantage or rig the gacha system in any way, so Hypergriff needs to allow us to have a lot more ores to work with. And when it comes to the combat, well, I absolutely love the mechanics of it as well. I know a lot of people call it slow and clunky, but it's genuinely as slow and clunky as you are bad at the game. It's one of my favorite combat systems in a very long time, and it's insanely
If the combat's
satisfying to
bad,
set
it's
up a
because
bunch
you're
of
bad.
combo skills in a row.
That's why I suck
the
at it.
criticism I have for it isn't about the mechanics at all. Instead, my issue with it right now is that team building is very rigid. No matter how small it may seem to current F2P players, it just so happens that the current rigid teams are F2P friendly because there are only like 3 proper 6-star DPS units, with all of their teammates being 4 and 5-star units. And that's great that lower rarities are getting used, but what happens if Haimao gets a call from Dawei to give advice or something like that, and Endfield turns into a game like Honkai Star Rail? So while Endfield's current character
That
kit
is a
design
worry
vision,
in the
which
back
is
of
to
my
give
head.
each character their own job, whether 4, 5, or 6-star, is incredible. If they don't do it right, they could end up making a game where team building is more rigid than me when your mama shows up. We need more fluid team building.
I fully agree with that. I fully agree with that. I am worried that it's gonna go the route of like Genshin or fucking HSR. That's a big worry because like I'm not gonna be spending money and pulling that much on this. I'm only gonna be pulling for the characters that I actually like, that are hot as shit, bro. Like, dude, I'm very much worried about power creep because the way they can combat power creep is by consistently adding 4-star supports and 5-star supports. They need to keep up with adding those. I feel like that would be a great way to combat power creep. Like, if they don't add 4 stars and 5 stars at a decent pace, I think the combat could get, like, power creep would get a lot worse.
Still capitalizes upon characters' jobs, and one of the best examples in the game right now is Gilberta, doing incredible stuff to many different teams, including Shatter, Lavataine, Yvonne, and Last Rite, and any future DPS that wants art susceptibility. However, she's also balanced by not outright power creeping Ardelia, because she doesn't give physical susceptibility, and doesn't work with straight up physical teams without an arts reaction like Ardelia does. She currently isn't a be-all end-all, but the keyword is currently. I may be worrying too much, but Hypergriff falling into the Hoyo trap is insanely worrying to me, so be worrying too much, but Hypergriff falling into the Hoyo trap is—
Oh yeah, good old fucking is this Pridwin? Yeah, it's fucking Pridwin. How recent is this? Oh god, T1. Like, dude, they were T1 within like a patch after.
Insanely worrying.
They need to add controller bindings. Yes, they do. That'd be a great quality of life.
Kit design right now makes team building very rigid, so make characters do jobs for more than just one meta team, maybe 2, possibly 3 for more powerful units. Give characters the ability to be flexible rather than do one job. Keep team building fluid and make the player
if they do
feel
that,
in
oh
control
well,
of
I
their
mean, fuck it, dude. Who cares?
Now, the current rigidness
It'd be a way
is
to
most
combat power
definitely
creep.
partly a symptom of not having enough teams and DPS units, but I'm not gonna sit by idly and wait for it to get worse. Again, I'm gonna criticize it so it can get better. Now, the endgame content might be the weakest point about Enfield's combat right now, because Etch Space Salvage doesn't qualify, not only because it's just not endgame, but also because it's boring. Umbral Monument is fun until you finish the stages, at which point it's also boring. I'll address the amount of currency in Umbral Monument a little later during the F2P accessibility section. I think Umbral Monument's current mechanics are pretty okay for a 1.0 launch quote-unquote endgame content, but what I really want to talk about is future endgame content.
Before he does that, yeah, no, I actually do like, for me personally, I do like the Umbral Monument thing, or whatever you want to call it, that little bi-weekly thing. Like, I can definitely see people it's getting boring, but I like the challenge on it. They need to add integrated strategies, yes.
For a while, I thought Umbral Monument was another Spiral Abyss with a 3-minute timer to get max rewards, but turns out it's not that at all, and the 10-minute timer is plenty of time for all of us, and the rewards are simply based on you beating the content instead of chasing time, which is incredible. So I want them to continue like this instead of, for like the billionth time,
yeah, I want them to refresh the rewards every 2 weeks for that.
Like
I think it'd be a fine, like, I think it'd be a fine endgame replacement until they actually make a proper endgame.
Which are all suffering from incredibly similar issues. I don't want timed rotation-based endgame content, which has proven time and time again to be a terrible formula not only for quality of gameplay, but also for F2P accessibility. I want non-timed iteration-based endgame content like Arknights, where they release a new iteration for one of their endgame modes every once in a while, which lasts for anything from a couple weeks to a few months. And since Arknights has so many modes, there's always something to do and grind. The only big gacha game right now with decent endgame content, aside from Arknights, is Zenless Zone Zero, but even then, it's still not optimal in my opinion, because it's rotation-based, and they still fell into many traps in the past, and
yeah, ZZZ has like a huge HP inflation issue, doesn't
contract, and especially reclamation algorithm and integrated strategies. If we get these in Arknights Endfield, I will glaze this game till the end of time. But
I'm in full agreement with this guy. I will do nothing but glaze this game if they somehow get integrated strategies into fucking Enfield, dude. I will endlessly glaze them. They will be the second company I'll get on my knees for.
Maybe the true Arknights Endfield endgame.
It'll be Steam and Hypergriff.
Content was the Arknights PC client. So give us Arknights endgame content in the Arknights game, please. And finally, when it comes to the F2P accessibility, there's a lot to say. Now, character building and account maintenance is currently pretty F2P accessible. The gear/artifact system is 90% RNG free, because you can just set up your factory and you have enough resources to build your entire roster 90% of the way after, and then you can artifice for your favorite characters only, because artificing is currently completely optional. It is heavily RNG to max out a single gear piece, but completely unartificed gear pieces are everything you currently need to beat the entire game, including Agony Mode Umbral Monument. It's thousands of times better than the alternative that I will forever loathe, like the Echoes, Relics, Artifacts.
Dude, oh my god. Like, NTE is going to have a better artifact system than every other gacha system besides fucking Enfield, because you can see what you're going to get on the piece. You know what you're going to be getting on the piece. You just have to farm it. But then again, you have to use daily stamina. But yes, HSR Wuwa is better in that aspect, because instead of taking a month to fully build out a character, it can take a couple days, maybe a week at most. But like, yeah, no, this is all like 100%.
You need to beat the entire game, including Agony Mode Umbral Monument. It's thousands of times better than the alternative that I will forever loathe, like the Echoes, Relics, Artifacts, and Discs. The weapon essences are a great system as well, because it replaces true RNG.
Yeah, no, these artifacts or relics, whatever you want to call them, like Enfield has the best system bar for bar. The NTE is the same as R99. Yeah, then like, hell, it's just awesome.
Systems like Artifacts and Echoes as the
you quit HSR because of the gear system. I don't blame you.
Daily farm you spend.
But like, I'm a day one player for HSR, so I'm not gonna quit. I do have hope the game will be better, but I seriously doubt it will be.
Your sanity on, while also having a proper finish line rather than the arbitrary bullshit of other gear systems. And again, it's also currently
this video isn't actually sped up. That's just how fast Last Right is. She's that good.
And again, it's also currently optional. My best weapon essence right now is a completely unlevel 2 out of 3 piece, and again, I still trimmed Agony Mode with this Last Right team. But one worry I have for the future when we're going to need more powerful essences is sanity regenerates way too slowly. So give us much faster sanity regeneration.
Yes, it should not fucking take 32 hours or 40 hours to fully regenerate stamina when your daily activities, when you do higher level ones, they require more sanity. What is this shit? Like, yeah, I get that's how it is in the OG Arknights, but in the OG Arknights, can you get 350 sanity? Can you get that much in the OG Arknights? What level am I? I'm in OG Arknights. I'm like level 50 something. And I have like 190. Like, seriously, it needs to be a 24-hour refresh.
We need enough to at least do 3 or 4 runs of essences a day without having to use boosters. Speaking of which, a lot of players complain about the boosters resetting, but the boosters that reset are from your dailies and weeklies, so they're like the coffee from ZZZ, so I don't mind those resetting.
No, not we max at 180. Okay.
Every day. And since we're on the topic of character build,
yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, yeah, it's this. You get 240 same as it. Since you have so much more sanity, it needs to be a full refresh in 24 hours. It needs to be a 24-hour refresh.
Dejong is a pretty good system. I don't mind it, but I wish there was a collect all and refresh all.
Yes, a collect all and refresh all. That would make me come buckets all over my wall.
Now finally, when it comes to all of the gacha system, gacha resources, and monetization, then first off, I've already proven like 3 times that the gacha system is objectively better than Wuthering Waves in Genshin because I wrote a piece of code that simulated
the
gacha system is
people are not gonna like that. They're not gonna like that at all.
Objectively better than Wuthering Waves in Genshin because I wrote a piece of code that
I thought you were sleeping, shithead.
Endfield got a couple hundred more limited 6 stars in both games. The 120 guarantee not carrying over is really not that bad. The only thing that would make Enfield's gacha system bad is the amount of gacha currency, and the concern of having little currency in the early game got addressed, so let's see how they fix it. Meanwhile, a lot of Doom posters still call the gacha currency in the rest of the game spread thin, but that's just not true. It is as spread thin or thick as Genshin and Wuthering Waves. The real issue, which we won't know nothing about until later, will be how much currency we get in later versions.
This is what I keep fucking saying about the gacha system whenever people talk about it. We cannot know until a couple patches later how the poll currency is going to be for free-to-play players. We do not know. We do not know how it's going to be.
And I'll be the first to say it needs to at the very least be 100 pulls and preferably 120. The only scenario where 120 would
think it should be 90 to 100 pulls per patch. But if you get the premium pass by spending money on it, you get the additional 20 to guarantee a character.
Be absolutely needed and would actually be a lowball is if they keep the 3 6 stars per patch schedule. If they do that past 1.1, hell, even 1.0, you're gonna see me rioting. They need to give us free
ZZ is my main and I much prefer Enfield's gacha. Well, that's awkward.
Lower rarity units, and what I'm guessing they'll do is give us a group of 4 stars like the Yop Z7 group every X.
Yes, please, for the love of God, keep pumping out 4 stars and 5 stars.
Batch. The monetization for this game is pretty great so far. Obviously, there was a massive PayPal fumble, which was insane for the launch of a gacha game, but at least that ended with the bare minimum of giving everyone a refund. The Battle Pass is one of the best Battle Passes out of any gacha game, only topped by Limbus companies, and Endfield is also the most low-spender and most well-friendly big gacha game so far. Not only does it have the easiest to swallow worst-case scenario funds, whether you're only getting 1 copy or maxing out an operator, but you also don't have to pay for weapons, maybe. The weapon system is probably where I have the biggest issues with Arknights Endfield. Now, it is objectively the best out of the big gacha games, what's new, right? But it also simultaneously feels insanely stingy. The reason for that is Hypergriff are trying to monetize weapons as if they have the same value as characters, but the issue is that they just don't. People see weapons as tools, not characters. They need to have at most half the value of a character, preferably a quarter. So they're testing the waters to see how much we can take by giving us only 100 tickets a week, and 20 in the credit shop, and not giving us any at all for clearing Humble Monuments.
Okay, no, that is true. Events and endgame modes, they have to give weapon pulls, because there's only one way to get them. And it's through fucking polling. Like, that's the truth. I feel I do think there needs to be another source.
Feel incredibly
It could be half of what you get from polling, but there still needs to be another source.
stingy, and like the devs are pinching pennies at this point. Now, I get that this is a gacha game and they don't want you to get the signature 6-star weapon for every single operation.
Yeah, I keep seeing that people were refunded the money they lost if they didn't, like, people were refunded the money on PayPal, but the people that got stuff kept it. So like that's the best case scenario. People got refunded the money they lost or got the items they purchased that never received, and people kept the stuff that they got.
You get. But the problem is that even if you go to 120, the worst case scenario of only getting the guarantees, you only get to 8,160 Arsenal tickets, which is not even enough to guarantee a weapon, which is shit. Especially because we aren't gonna get any.
Yeah, no, he's 100% right. We really need another source of Arsenal tickets.
More starter tickets or any more front-loaded sources of standard tickets. And if you get your 6-star early, then maybe that's when you should have to consider getting the free half signature from the battle pass. Although unfortunately, I believe Hypergriff will never change a gacha system after release, so we're not gonna get any more Arsenal tickets in the gacha unless they pull the biggest devs listen moment ever. But for now, we need the weeklies and the credit shop to not spit in our face by giving us less than dirt in terms of value. Also, the Geometry exchange, which for some reason I can genuinely never find anywhere, needs to give us way more than 25 Arsenal tickets per Geometry. You really need 80 of them for one Arsenal exchange. Again, they're trying to give weapons the same value as characters, and to that I say hell no. Now, after all of these issues I just listed, why the hell should anybody keep playing Arknights Endfield? Well, not only are the characters super lovable, the combat mechanics super fun, the factory experience super incredible, and the exploration the actual best in the gacha space, and the gear and SS system the actual best of all time and doesn't make you want to kill yourself. But also for the future and potential of this game. Why did anybody keep playing Genshin Impact?
You got Gibby. You got Gibby Lay on 50/50 and got screwed on weapon banners? Yup.
To Honkai Star Rail, Zoneless Zone Zero, hell, Wuthering Waves, which had the worst launch out of all the big gacha games so far. It's the same thing. It's
hold on, let me what is this guy saying?
Of all time and doesn't make you want to kill yourself. But also for the future and potential of this game. Why did anybody keep playing Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail, Zoneless Zone Zero? Hell, Wuthering Waves, which had the worst launch.
Yeah, Wuthering Waves has like one of the worst launches ever, and now it's one of the big four. Now it's one of the big four gacha games.
Out of all the big gacha games so far, it's the same thing. It's love for the potential that the game has. It's why I hard quit Genshin.
What I do want in the future, I want more Italian speakers or like more non-English speaking VAs or like bilingual VAs speaking another language in the English dub. I want more of that so much.
In HSR, they never lived up to the potential that I saw in them.
Yeah, in the end,
that's why I probably won't ever play Zenless Zone Zero again, and even Wuthering Waves is on the edge if the endgame content keeps progressing like this too. But Arknights Endfield, all I want out of this game is to live up to the potential, and hopefully this video explained my view of it. So, thank you so much for watching.
This guy was pretty much right about everything. There's nothing really wrong with this video. He's right about how the character designs are fucking peak. He's right about how the story is incredibly boring, but Tong Tong's interaction is peak. Like, he's right about this game needing endgame. Like, the factory is Kino, dude. He's right about pretty much everything he said. There needs to be another source of Arsenal tickets because, my God, the single source sucks crack out of my ass. But oh, he's right. There needs to be a base 100 polls you can get on a per patch to per patch basis. Otherwise, there's going to be severe issue with keeping free to play players. But there's really nothing wrong with this video.
Now, character building and account maintenance is currently pretty F2P.
I'll say character building. It takes a while, but it's easy. Like, it is easy, and I don't know how true his little section is about
boosters. Speaking of which, a lot of players complain about the boosters resetting, but the boosters that reset are from your dailies and weeklies, so they're like the coffee from ZZZ.
The gacha system. Where was that?
Exploration R, and yet me when your mama shows up. section. I think Umbral Monument's current mechanics are from a couple the true Arknights entire roster 90% of the way after. Everything you currently need. The weapon essences are a great system as well because it's actually just an extra 40. The 100 currency and the rest 20 would be absolutely needed and would actually be a low ball as if they keep
Yeah, I don't know how accurate that little snippet was about him coding a thing, bot for the comparing the gacha systems. I don't know how accurate it is because it's a gacha system, relies on so much luck. But like, I personally have no issues with the Enfield gacha system.
the 3
That's
6
the
stars per
truth.
best.
And like, I hope they don't keep the three 6 stars. I hope they go to 2 because that's just a lot of characters. Before Marble Boss, we can see multiple characters fighting for us, but no one realized it was all NPCs from Valley 4. Okay. But no, this 1.0 review, it's incredibly good.
Really need 80 of them for what?
Yeah, there seriously needs to, because you're not spending. Well, yeah, why would I spend on a gacha game? Unless I was a whale. If I was if I was rich as shit, fuck yeah, I'd be spending on these, but I'm not. So I'm smart with my money. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this review. The video is going to be in the description, so you can watch it yourself. I actually think this guy is very good. I'm actually gonna sub and like the video. This was a fantastic video. Thanks to the chatter that recommended I watch it. But yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Make sure you subscribe actually before you leave. Subscribe and like it. Peace.